I got it set up at 12 p.m. Let's put AM. That shit was tripping.
Peace, peace, peace. Peace and paradise to all American Aborigines. The truth is in the building. Shout out to the noble Lotus civilization, Ali Bay. Peace to God, man. What's up, brother? How you?
Well, Elder Grand Sheik Holiday, things have been many twists and turns in the communities of late, and it's time we untwist them turns, family. How you doing out there?
I'm great, man. As usual, man, it's a double header, man. We're gonna get into all this tonight, man. Yeah, I've been eating all day, y'all. Been scalping all day. I came back with a lot of scalps today, man, and we're gonna really, you know what I'm saying, we having a memorial for these guys, man, because this is crazy. But but one thing I gotta say though, when it comes to challenges, right, and when it comes to people getting at us about information, right, the beautiful thing about it, it gives us the opportunity to research more, deeper, dig into things that you may never dig into, right? Like the more thing, whatever, a lot of us left that stuff alone in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And so it could be new information out there. It's a lot of, y'all follow me? So while you're doing research, you can find things that can even strengthen your argument. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I have found, Lotus, bro, is the more I dig, the more research that is done, it only validates us, bro. It only validates what we're saying. And what's so crazy is it's always like when these guys pull up references and stuff, it's like they're not comprehending what they're reading. Y'all get it? Y'all understand what I'm saying? They're really not comprehending what they're reading. And I understand why, because they have went to an indoctrination process that we call Indian school. Okay. And what that process is, right, is that you take children from their nations, tribes, peoples, right, families, right, and you put them in a situation and you start teaching them language, religion, mores, folkways, things. You want them to start looking at the world as if they are European. Do y'all follow me? Or foreigners. And you sit them back into their communities, to their nations, into their families, tribes, relatives, lineage, with this fake ass false doctrine. That is an act of war. Do y'all understand? Right? So we're gonna get into this stuff, man. It gets so weird, Joe. But we was playing a live stream last night, right? But what I want to do, Lotus, I want to get into the one from the day before that.
Yes.
Yeah, you got my name. Yeah, because I kind of disrupted his flow. The other, he was addressing me the whole time and I'm like that. So I want to get into this one right here where he got into some information. Like, have you ever heard of Moore's Indian Charity School? Have you ever heard of that, brother?
No, I've never heard of that. You to me.
We're gonna get into that tonight. Now think about this, y'all. When we get into this, right? This is what he brought out. This is what we call Candyland more, but Canaan land. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you, bro. Because like I said, bro, you give us stuff to really research, and while we researching that, we dig a little deeper than you, right? We don't just pull up a book that's written for these people and by these people that has their agenda on it, right? And then pass that off as it's an authentic documentation. It's not. A lot of times when you guys are talking about a lot of these time periods, English didn't exist. You're getting a rendition, you're getting a translation from a more modern time period. And so people are putting on their own social political construct in whatever they're writing. This is just facts. I don't even understand what people talk about, right? So it's just an interesting thing, y'all. And while we banging on these guys, simultaneously, You know, I guess we can let the brothers over there, shout out to Rob Rack, Solar Mind, Debate League, shout out to Lex Vortex, man. They had me over there today, y'all. You know, I'm full, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm full. But however, um, this is a double header. You know what I mean? So we're gonna let them have it a little bit too while we give it into these Moors. And I don't even want to call y'all dirty Moors, man. That's not. I think you're misguided. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you deal with a lot of belief systems as opposed to dealing with actual documentation, dealing with actual things that you guys can prove. You deal with more emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what they were dealing with today over there on the Solomon Debate League. Now, the discussion started out as black, bliggity black, I'm black and I'm proud, right? Now keep that in the back of your mind. That was the conversation that started with this guy, Canaanland Moors, right? AKA, I think he go by the Iron Sheik. See, I don't know. I'm gonna treat you the same, you know. I didn't know you were that Grand Sheik. You know what I'm saying? I just think that the information that you're spewing is faulty. Number one. Number two, what goes on in America is not your business. Just like Canadian business is not my business, or Trinidadian business is not my business. Can we all agree on that? So a lot of times it wouldn't make sense for somebody, for me to presume to tell people in other countries, right, what's going on with their social political constructs, right? While I'm pushing a European concept on the people. I just think it's real weird. And we're gonna break all that stuff down tonight with what you put out. We're gonna use your words, your books, and the books that you pulled out, and what does all this mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna get into, Lotus. Hey, you got something to say, bro?
Oh yeah. Well, I got some personal issues with Canaan land Moor, and I do not have issues with other Moors other than the one that calls himself Canaan land Moor. So I wanted to make sure many don't mistake that for like, oh, we're going at all the Moors. Like this is all out attack on the Moors. Now, it so happens that what we are calling Moorish history has a lot of holes in it. So if I'm challenging your history, that just means I'm looking up your history and I'm sharing Moorish history. And by me examining it, I just finding what I find and sharing what I see. So it's more it's not like a slander campaign against the Moors or anything. And you know, we didn't start it. So we'll say, I'll say this. He's challenging my name, so I'll challenge his name and see if Canaanites have anything to do with Moors. I wonder what Lex Vortex would say about that. So I just wanted to share that, family. Good brothers and sisters of the feather. We're back again. And you're in for a very, very interesting night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, family. Want me to kick the video off, the one I was playing last night from where we left off, because that's when it really gets turned up.
I kind of want to go with the new one today, and then we can come back to that.
Damn, we got a new one today?
Yeah, the one I sent you today. Well, the one he got my name on the title. Like he's gonna lighten up, but yeah, we're gonna close your eyes, brother. Like the information that you guys are putting out, bro. Like this is suspect. But the crazy part about it is, right? He's gonna say it, and then it's like you know how like you start catching it. While you reading something, like you didn't bet what he was reading before he brought it out. So I think it's interesting. Like I said, man, like I said, I salute you, brother, for you know, I don't brother. Ooh, in the Moors Indian Charity School, brother. Because I know about Indian schools, just like the brother said. I didn't know about the Moors Indian Charity School. Get it? Because it was only a short period of time And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it because I don't want to spoil it. I want him to say it, and then we'll come back, bust his melon open. Because this is what it's about. It's really about the information. It's not about personalities. It's not
Which,
about personal issues, right? He's challenging us, calling ourselves Aborigines, saying that's not a nationality. We are Americans. That's our goddamn nationality, bro. We're done. You're not an American. You're speaking on American business, bro. You are Canadian. There's a difference. If you're Trinidadian, you are a Trinidadian national in Canada. That's how that works. You are not from America. When we're talking about the social political construct. So you can't tell us about nationality, fam. Moor is not a nationality in your own fucking family or literally in Trinidad or Canada. And it is not on any documentation that we would have to fill out. Shout out to Rob Rackham. When we're talking about filling out any information, we use McDonald's application or the fucking census. There's no more on there. No Moorish American slot that we fill in there. So what do you guys fill out? These will be my questions to y'all. And also, I think we're gonna go with the Shriner first, bro. They gotta see these images first. Let's go with that first, because we gotta go where they that, where they who they're under, so to speak. Because talking to these guys today, right? I asked the question, right? The question was on the table, right? To because they was arguing about black. Man, we black, man. You want it, they arguing with us about being black. And then you got the Moors turning around arguing with us about being Moors. And we just like, yo, bro, we Americans. And those titles, those things you put on us, take us away from the land physically, emotionally, socially, politically, brothers. And economically, all these things work together, bro. So this is what we're fighting against, the psychological damage that's going on with these terms. Black is a term for losers. We pointed this out. They all agreed today that black was a part of a caste system. Then Kansu tried to come in, y'all. This shit crazy. We might have to play some of this too. Kansu gonna try to come in and say, well, it's not a caste system anymore. It's a class system. I almost threw up, bro. I was like, yo, bro, what is you talking about, bro? You coming here with all these semantic terms, come in talking all eloquent, talking about, oh, yes, these are all social political constructs, but I'm black. I'm like, how's a smart dummy come here and talk about he's black? You know what I'm saying? I just think it's the weirdest shit ever. It's double speech, especially when you just said that it's a social political construct, right? Then he goes on to say, Consul goes on to say, shout out to you, dude, bro, but like, yeah, man, y'all ain't in our league over there, the little debate league. Y'all ain't in our league over there, brothers. So this dude gonna go in and talk about the white man wrote the Constitution, all this other stuff. Then I just busted head with the great law of peace. He conceded and was mad because I was trying to go in on it. He got in his feelings and he started getting into personal stuff. They didn't want to get into the information. They want to get into personal stuff. Candyland Moore don't want to get into the information. He wants to get into personal stuff. So we can get into some gangster shit. But at the end of the day, I'm only speaking facts. I'm only going to speak the truth. I'm never going to slander you like you niggas do. Slander. Remember I said that. If you are American, stand up and say you're American. We're American. So don't be mad. Don't try to bunch us in with a foreign occupied mindset. We don't have anything to do with that. And if you guys seen the show last night, they flag does not have anything to do with the original people of so-called Morocco or Mauritania or Barbaria. Okay? And what they are pushing on everybody is a new Egyptian, Greco-Roman, some bullshit. Get it? And we're going to prove it. I'm going to prove it from him, not from me, from him. Okay? Hey, bro, you probably could go in probably like about 5 minutes into it, man, because I think they have some music playing, some other shit. Yeah, we just get past that. Oh, no. Are we playing the video or are we going to get to the Shriner? real fast. I think you guys got to see this. I think it's very interesting. When we talk about the Shriners, and these hats and stuff. So yeah, I think we got to put some of those images up before we get into these actual Moors and where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit that you guys be saying just doesn't make any sense. Seriously. So yeah, you there, Lotus? Lotus. Yeah, man. Yeah, we guess I kicked the bobo about this until Lotus get back in here. Yeah, man, this shit is extra crazy, y'all, man. We're gonna break this thing all down for the tribe tonight. Um, and so here's the thing though, y'all. So what they attempted to do over on the debate league right today, it was like me against five people. Like they maxed out the little stream yard, and everybody that was coming on was like really um slow. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to, pace it out, talk to them, you know, and they was just being disrespectful, going back and forth. And I was like, yo, bro, like I ain't come over here for that. I come over here just to free y'all minds, you know what I'm saying? And the black thing, is not beneficial to our people, especially if you know it's a part of the caste system, especially if you know that it's a weapon that these people are using against you. So I proved to them that they couldn't even give me an example of black power. They never could do it. So then one smart guy, right? He kept arguing about, well, okay, well then what? When I'm like, cause we arguing about black. So then I was like, okay, well give me an example of black power. His conversation is, well, what's power? I'm like, bro, told him what my quick rundown of what I thought power was, right? Oh, you don't even know what power is. I said, well, brother, you the smart guy. You're asking a question. You asked the question after I asked you a question. We're about just show me an example of black power. If you niggas is so black powers, give me an example of it. He wanted to go for an hour about power, and he never gave me his rendition of what power is. They never showed me anything that they have ever done, ever, ever, under this black codes. I brought out black slave codes, blacklistings, blackmail. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no comeback. So I asked them, where do they get black from? Do you know what these motherfuckers said, y'all? They literally came out their fucking dumbass faces and said, I can't make this up. I really can't. I just crazy shit ever. James Brown. So I let that go around for a minute. They was like, they was proud of the James Brown conversation and shit. They going in, yeah, James Brown, James Brown. I asked just a real quick question. When he came up with I'm Black and I'm Proud, who was he campaigning for? Oh, they didn't know. Oh, Richard Nixon. They were campaigning for, he was campaigning, as we like to say, samboing, shucking and jiving for Richard Nixon. Our ancestors rejected I'm Black and I'm Proud. They rejected Richard Nixon. They rejected the brother. Like, I ain't gonna speak ill on James Brown. I'm not saying he didn't bring anything to the table, but as far as musically, yes, he did. But as far as anything else, he was never an example for anything that any copper-colored Aborigine should look up to, period. And that's just keep being the nicest I could be about James Brown. Brown, a Cherokee name. Okay? These are Aboriginal names. They did not come from Africa. They did not come from Europe. These are a whole other thing. So once again, they look at the world from the lenses of the Europeans because they have went to Indian schools, missionary schools, right? That's what they went to, schools that are programming the children to think like them. Okay? So when you get a guy who's even coming from the islands or coming from Toronto, for instance, he is not immune to the school system because they did it in Canada. They did it in Trinidad. They did it in Jamaica. They did it in Kansas. They did it in America. This is a part of the war strategy. So when you guys are still coming around pushing the same war strategy as the Jesuits and as all these other Puritans and all these other people that came here, bro, while fixing it up in blackface and all these other things. Lotus, you there? I think it's a travesty. And it's just definitely been disingenuous, man. You know. So yeah, man, we're gonna get into this thing tonight. Yeah, man. So we done lost Lotus. Got stuff I want to show you. Shout out to Miss Mohawk Aboriginal in the building. Peace to the Empress. Check out originaltribalwear.com. You already know what it is, man. What proof is there against American as more Aboriginal, European term anyway? Okay, but we're not even talking about where you think the term came from, brother. The term is just identifying the original inhabitants of this land, brother. The same way that we put in there every time the etymology. I'm going to put it here right now for you, so you won't be having these kind of conversations all the time with yourself. It doesn't make any sense of American. Where does American come from? I just put it in the chat room. Click on that. Burn it in your brain. Okay? Because it's going to be important to the conversation, to the information that we about to provide for you guys, right? When you're hearing something, right, that's talking about 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, right? It gives you a context of who they were talking about during these time periods. So when they're calling us, say, American Indians and African Americans and Native Americans, you know that these terms did not exist in 1770 or 1870. Shit, for that matter, 1970. These terms did not fucking exist. So when you're reading something about time periods, right, and you start seeing people put words in there, whatever that you know didn't exist, you have to go to your mind to say, okay, well, what did exist during this time period? You understand what I'm saying? See, these are the things that you guys are doing, and you're not really realizing. And I heard, once again, I'm going back and forth. We're going to beat up on the debate league and the brothers over there, Consul and Rob Rack and all those busters over there with that information that's just the most garbage information ever created, right? I really actually believe that, right? At least the Moors have something to stand on. They got a Circle 7, you know, some infrastructure. They got information that they have been bringing. to the table. So I'm not about to act like Moors haven't brought anything to the table. Right? So this is not what this is about. This is about right or wrong, right? This is about being right and exact. That's what we're about to do right now. We got Root Word in the building. What did he say? He said, we original. I agree. We ain't first. We original. Heirs to the land. French was first. Fuck, man. I'm not about to argue back all day with first, man. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. I feel what you're saying, though. You're saying the first people here, whatever. I get it, but we are the first Americans, bro. So I'm not about to go back and forth, man. And matter of fact, these are the type of conversations we got to stop having, like futile conversations, like black, Moor, green, yellow, right? These guys are arguing with me back and forth about color scheme, and then you guys can interchange them and say, okay, well, it ain't about color. We know it's not about color. It's about the social political construct that you are attaching yourself to. That's losers that lose every goddamn game. You don't never win. They know for a fact every game they're going to win. Every game. You niggas is like the Washington Generals. Every time you play the Harlem Globetrotters, you're just there to get dunked on, nigga. And you pay the Harlem Globetrotters to do it. That's how it works. That's the analogy. You niggas ain't never gonna do anything with the blackity black. I'm black and I'm proud. That shit is derogatory. That shit is set up to be at the bottom of the caste system. We laid out a completely rational fucking joke. Like, it was completely rational. Bro, this is what's going on. These are the things. They agreed to it, y'all. They literally agreed to it, but still mad at me because I don't want to be black. After they agreed that black is a part of the loser strategy. Like, goddamn, bro. And then another nigga come in and say, oh, it wasn't caste system, it's a class system. Like, it's just the dumbest shit ever, bro. When they know that they're using black, they're using these terms for their social political gain over you. So what we're saying is take white out the occasion. Because if you have black, you have to have white, right? I asked them, was a guy black or white? They didn't want to answer the question. Because it was a trick question, actually. Well, my guy's black. Well, even if you say your guy's black, then you are conceding a white guy. And in this social political construct, your black guy is getting his ass whooped by your white guy. Your white guy. In your mind, your white guy is whooping your ass. He said, well, what's your definition of power? I said, when your ass go to sleep, my power is still in your imagination. That's power. That I'm more powerful than you in your dreams. That's power. Y'all get it? Like, yo, where did they find these niggas at? And so now the Moors are pushing the same nigga black. I'm black and I'm proud. They'll sit there and tell you black is not no standing in law. And I'm asking, well, show me standing where Moors has standing in law. Show me. Lotus, you back? Black is
yeah.
Moor 101, Aboriginal 101. We ain't black facts. We not Moors either, bro. Don't tell me a verb. Don't tell me Moor not your mama. And then this dude, your Candyland Moor, gonna talk about that black people Moored out their mama. Well, bro, you guys want to be white. You want to be white. So make your mind up. Did white people Moor out their mamas? Did white people Moor the seas? Did Vikings Moor the seas? I just think it's the dumbest question. It's the dumbest conversation ever. And we're going to actually put this thing to bed because it doesn't make any sense. What do you want to get into? You want to get back to the video that we can kind of, I wanted to kind of show that Shriner joint real fast, bro.
All right.
I think it's very important that they see this right here. That this is a killer. I just can't believe the conversation that we be having, Ruth. Like, we too smart, whether it's in the debate league, whether it's in the Moor conversation, whatever, for us to be going back and forth about Moor, about black, about white, right? I think it's incredible. Now, I don't know if it's the same for Moors, but can y'all go into a Shriners lodge? Can anybody answer that question? Because you guys are the little brothers of the Shriners, okay? You're the little brothers of the Masonic orders and stuff like that created you. We could prove this. So when you guys are pushing this whole Moorish paradigm on us, we've already showed you the history from over there. You don't have any history. So we're going to show you a history here in America. It's just ludicrous, bro. Absolutely ludicrous. Did you get the email?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I don't think I have the. I got Wikipedia articles.
For Shriners?
Yeah.
Yeah, click on it. Both of them is not Wikipedia. One of them's the article. We can get into that. I want to pull that up so we can read it. This shit crazy, but the pics is crazy. Like, I think this needs to be seen. I think everybody needs to see this pic right here, what we really dealing with. And then we can get back to these guys who are consider themselves ancient Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get to the root of this thing because you guys are Egyptologists, and we know who created Egyptologists. You guys are no different than the Mormons. You guys are no different than Presbyterians. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. These niggas is crazy. Like, it's bad. It's about to be bad, bro. This ain't really a warning shot. We're gonna give you some good ass flesh wounds right now, bro. Bro, can you please blow that sword up right there, in that face, in the middle of that sword right there? God damn. Oh, no. Yeah, you go ahead. Y'all gotta see this right here. Before we even get into it, y'all gotta see this shit. This is crazy. Can you make it bigger? Are y'all seeing this? Can y'all see that? Is that a pharaoh who is pale? Y'all see they star for that flag? You see the sword over the top, over the head? Is basically saying, you release these secrets, or if you don't take this doctrine, we're gonna cut your head off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hanging. The sword is forced. They had to force this on these niggas, and they trying to force it on us. But this is y'all shit right here. This is where y'all come from right here. See that? See y'all God right there in the middle, right there with the pharaoh. See his face? See that? See that star? All right, let's get into the article, and then it's a slideshow after this, the other one. But yeah, let's get into the article. It's crazy. Okay, Shriners International, also commonly known as the Shriners, or formerly known as the Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. Okay, and it says anagram for a Mason is a society established in 1870 and its headquarters in Tampa, Florida. Okay. So 1870. Let's put that in the back of your mind. Yeah, you keep going. Shriners International describes itself as a fraternity based on fun, fellowship, and the Masonic principles of brotherly love, relief, and truth. There are approximately 350,000 members from 196 temples, chapters in the U.S., Canada, Brazil, Bolivia, Mexico, and the Republic of Panama, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, Europe, and Australia. The organization is best known for its Shriners Hospital for Children. Okay? That is administers and the red fezzes that members wear. Remember the red fezzes? Okay. The organization was previously known as Shriners North America. The name was changed in 2010 across North America, Central America, South America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. Now, the crazy part about it is they're not in North Africa, just like they're not in North Africa. Now, keep that in the back of your mind. All right. The history. In 1870, there were several thousand Freemasons in Manhattan, many of whom lunched at the Knickerbocker Cottage at a special table on the second floor. There, the idea of a new fraternity for Masons, stressing fun and fellowship, was discussed. Walter M. Fleming, MD, and William J. Florence took the idea seriously enough to act upon it. Oh, I can't wait till y'all see Florence.
Your voice goes low, then it goes back up.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the other one.
All right.
Because, yeah, it's really not about the shrines. I just kind of want to get you out of, some visuals. There he is. He got the bow tie on and everything. There y'all, the slick hair, everything. There y'all master teacher right there. Don't fuck with me. It gets worse. I promise it gets worse. We just getting started. It gets worse. But look. William J. Florence, okay? Hey, come out of that one and go in the other one. Y'all gotta see these pics before we get to them. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm bliggity black. I'm bliggity black. I'm black and I'm proud. Yo, this doesn't make no sense, bro. This don't make. Now, I do understand that they have brown Shriners. So I don't know if a brown Shriner can go into a white or a pale Freemason temple, right? But I know that the so-called black Freemasons can't go into so-called white temples, but the white Freemasons can go into the black temples. So I've always thought that was weird. I would never join a group that's the little brother to the recessive man. You know what I'm saying? I would never join under that thing right there. You know what I'm saying? It's too weirdo shit to me. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? So once again, y'all gotta explain this right here. You gotta explain that right there. When y'all say that y'all are from ancient Egypt, right? I want to know, is this y'all symbol right here? Oh, we about to show it to you. We about to show it on your hat. Okay? So let's go. There you go again. William J. Florence. Uh-oh. So you see how they like to pull up totem poles and shit? Oh, he has a fez on his head. No. He got a fez on right there. He got like a gold fez. Like y'all got the red ones, you got the black ones. I'm sure that this gold fez right here is the ultimate fez out there. I don't care what nobody what y'all say. You don't have more clout than this guy right here. Is this y'all brother? You go there. Oh my God. Sure, a lot of pale people right there. Keep going, man.
Out in Canada, where Canaan Land was born.
Where's this at?
That's in Canada, Montreal, but he's from Toronto. Okay. So he get a pass on that one.
Wow. See, here y'all go right here. Going nowhere fast, nigga. Straight up.
Like I told Canaan Landmore's chat, every red car is not a Corvette, and every Corvette ain't red. So just because someone has some type of hat, helmet, or whatever on their head doesn't mean it's a fez.
Fact.
Oh, not but I'm being dead serious. I'm living serious. That's how serious that is.
Wow. Okay. Let's go. This is what they think of y'all right here. Damn clown. Oops. Back to that. All right. So, are we clear on this part right here? I want to lay this out before we get to the next part, because shit. Hey, let's go ahead and pull up those monkeys, bro. Fuck it. Let's go before we get to this video, because this is what these people think of y'all. The people that you serve, these are the depictions that they came up for y'all. A monkey. Wearing a fez. My whole thing is though, like they just started the Shriners in 1870, right? Check. Everybody clear on this? 1870. That's like damn near. Some of you niggas was almost born in 1870. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that long ago, right? So all of this stuff is ancient, bro. This is our shit. They're just taking our stuff and making it look what they did to this. They're taking our shit, bro, and then giving it back to y'all. And then you go up under them. You go up under the crown. You go up under Zionism, bro. You go up under the cabal. This is what this is, fam. And this is what they think of y'all right here, bro. Nigga got his hand over his heart, everything, bro. This is what they think. So you gonna identify yourself by people that this how they feel about you? Can't be. And they was like Islam, Mo. Oh my God, this is terrible. he got the Masonic stance, 1 foot out, everything, y'all. Ah. My bad, y'all. My bad. We ain't finished. We got more. I'm bliggity black. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm bliggity black. I'm black, y'all. Everybody, hey, why you just got the hat showing though? Like, what is going on? Lotus, the noble Lotus is crazy, yeah.
He got the long fez too.
Hey, keep going. Watch this, yeah. That shit crazy. I didn't make this up. They made this up. But y'all still serving. Absolutely ludicrous. as y'all can see, they made one with the guitar. Dude even tried to say that when he see a so-called Fez on a so-called Indian over here, right? But it's a feather hanging down. He's like, oh, see right there, the feather is a Fez. What? The feather comes from nature. So the Fez will be an artificial construct. Shout out to Lieber's son. What are you talking about? Do you even know the history of the Fez? So you showing us a picture of some amalgamated people who have literally succumbed to the being dominated, bro. Like you all you guys, Consul, all you guys, the Bay League sound like defeated men. Like y'all sound like y'all been buck broke. Like y'all broken, like you scared. Now I'm not saying all of y'all, but a lot of y'all are scared. You have lost. You're never gonna fight back. And then they always talking about, well, how y'all gonna get y'all land back? We didn't lose, we on our land. You obviously lost yours. They obviously took you away from your land. When are y'all going home? These are the simple, bro. It's the simplest question ever. When are y'all going home? Hey, bro, let's get into that video, man. We don't even need. We gonna come back in a second. With some more pics. Matter of fact, can you show those other guys real fast? The pale ones. We're gonna put those images in your head before we get to this guy's video. This is crazy. And he wearing a hat that he done, like a baseball cap that he done put some tassels on. Like he got literally have a tassel hanging down off his hat. Yeah, like I can't.
You talking about
Candyland? Like he said, this is a
this show.
Yeah, like that's dogma, man. Like, all that stuff y'all talk about. It was like, well, who's your totem today? This is what Rob Bracken was asking today. I said my mama. They're trying to get me, like, dude, that's wood, bro. I don't get into none of that, bro. My mama's my totem. What about you? The consul like, what's your mama name? And so I said, bro, I got a mama. You know, I got a mama. Why I gotta tell her name? Like, what does that got to do with anything? Then niggas started stunting on me, right? Getting personal stuff. I was like, yo, bro, stop being personal, bro. Like, it's not gonna go well for you. My only question, any nigga that got any question for me is that, have you broke ground in 2019, or do you have plans to break any ground in 2020? I have. I do. We not on the same level. So don't fuck with me. Talk that talk to somebody else, bro. That shit don't work over here, bro. Like, you niggas is jacked. You know, they constantly get at me. And I'm like, bro, we got the same. I was like, yo, you know, Todd Davis? He's like, yeah, man, that's a cold dude. That's my guy. I was like, well, that's my partner. Did y'all see the video he did earlier today? We got them keys, man. Like that, they went into a building. These niggas ain't doing nothing but talk about going and giving some people some money. They ain't talking about building anything. None of them. So I just think that, you know, the Aborigines are the only ones building out. The Aborigines are the only ones waking up America. And that's just what it is. So all other paradigms will fall by the wayside and be crushed in a pile of dust. All of them. There's nothing that y'all can do. And for you guys, after SETI and SODNet and everybody done crush you guys, y'all want to run up on giants. That's just crazy to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. With all the weak shit that y'all bring to the table. But look at y'all. Look at y'all master teachers. So is that y'all brother? Can he say Islamo? He'll say Islam and Mazel Tov at the same time. Like, Islam and Shalom, nigga. So same shit, bro. Don't try to make up a cute ass acronym myself, law and master. No, Shalom. That's y'all brother right there. Okay? Don't fuck around. Y'all see him? You see him? Islamo. Hey, yo, hold on. What about the one with the beard? Hold on, let's get the one with the beard. This right here is gonna hurt y'all feelings. Ah.
Candyland drew that mustache on him.
Candyland. Oh, no, that nigga got I don't even know what type of Charlie Chaplin meat.
He got the Pink Panther mustache.
Oh my God.
Got to go respect to pseudo history.
Oh my God. Yo, look at this guy's face. Look at them glasses. Hey, y'all serious? Why? Why did y'all come for us, man? Why? Why did y'all do this to yourself? Look what you done. Look what you did.
Shit.
Look what you did.
They started. Well, he started. Him and his odd merry men. Candyland and his merry men.
Mm-hmm.
Since they
I was in the chat room yesterday, right? We might be able to pull that up. And they was over there like, you can't talk to our elder like that. I was like, what? Elder? They were like, yeah, he's our Grand Sheik. And he started talking that Grand Sheik shit. And like, you ain't a chief. And he pulls out a paper, a certificate, nigga?
I could go make one of those right now.
I bet you ain't got more rank than that dude with that gold fez on. I bet you don't. And I know for a fact you ain't got more rank than them damn Arabs over there. I bet everything y'all got. They can come in y'all shit, slap y'all around, leave. Y'all can't even go in that shit. So be quiet. Run the beard.
Look at this.
So I guess some of y'all brothers too, huh? Y'all claim everybody with a fez on. Y'all claiming Indians, totem poles, everybody. There you go. Russians. Y'all gonna learn today. They looking like, hey, Candyland, come on home. Canada is waiting. Nigga, you got me fucked up, dog. This shit crazy.
You mean to tell me Elton John is a Moor?
What? What are you talking about? He's probably a Mason for sure. But it's the same thing. They just like the little brothers to it, man. Like the monkey that they sit on their lap, literally, like the lap dog monkey. Like the come on, fam.
Uh-oh. Got him.
Hey, Root, that's your brother?
This is our good brother Sheik.
Hey, hold on.
Abba yabba abracadabra doo.
Look at that.
Smiter.
What?
The Smiter. With the Egyptian head. They gotta say some Egyptian stuff.
So that's your ancient Egyptian brother right there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't even give a fuck enough to look at what Smiter is. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, y'all are the suckiest niggas ever, bro. Like, this right here is unconscious. Like, bro, I'm laughing so hard on the inside, y'all, right now. I don't even know what to say. Like, this is incredible. Y'all remember that sword and that crescent star right there? Y'all see that? Wow, that's incredible. Now watch this. Yeah, man, let's get into the video real fast. Man. We just talk for 3 hours. This is crazy. I heard some incredible stuff that led me to some incredible research, some incredible reading.
He has like 3 videos with your name in them. No, 2.
The one where he says enlightening, like he did 2 days ago.
The 3-hour one, there's 4-minute one, and there's a 3-hour one.
3-hour one. Yeah, it's 3 hours on the dot. That's what it is. Since he won't come on, then we'll let him present his information from his channel, and then we'll just debunk it like that. Somebody won't be like, oh, they didn't even address the cartoon we put up yesterday of the Moors and their history and that flag. Yo, I need to see that green, yellow, and blue flag. I don't want to see this right here because you're attached to that guy right there with the beard, with that star and that flag right there. You're never gonna tell me anything different ever in life. Period. That's how I feel about it. And yeah, fuck fair use, by the way. Yes, it's in America. Why anybody?
Chief, give me about 5. Yeah, I'm gonna hop out and hop back in.
Go live and whatever. First question for the Moors. The indigenous guys said that they are Americans.
Bey, calling from northwest of Maxim, Al Murak. And I'm coming out of the American Dictionary of the English Language, Noah Webster, 1828. American. Noun. A native of America. Originally applied to the Aboriginals. Hey, there they are. Who are the Aboriginals? Copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. Any other questions, Reneki?
There's a lot more. And how is American tied to the Moors?
Now you see what you just did right there, Taylor? You just read the definition of American. It just told you the Aborigines or copper-colored races of people that they found when they came here. What you did was said more. They never said more in there because when we look up the actual definitions of more, you guys are gonna read it. It doesn't say any motherfucking thing about America. So where are you all getting this from? Because you see Ameri, Amaru, Americ, and you just start changing vowels and start putting stuff. Y'all shit didn't exist, bro. You don't have a homeland for Moors.
Playing music.
There's no homeland for you. Y'all homeland is in the middle of comes from the brain of a Zionist Jew, bro. Period. I'm seeing people in the chat room talking about those aren't Moors. Nigga, y'all are tripping. Where you think these niggas get the shit from? And by the way, I've never seen Noble Jew Ali with a fez on. He wore a turban with a feather. Shout out to Nick Cannon. Yo, I just sent you a picture, man. Put this picture up for these fools real fast, bro. I'm tired of y'all, bro. Y'all suck. Show me. Now he might. I haven't seen him in a fez. I've seen him in a turban, and we can show you turbans in the Americas prior to Europeans, or when they came here, they see people in turbans. So what are you talking about? And we're gonna get into all of this, bro. What are y'all talking about? Why y'all not wearing turbans? Shout out to the Seer Duke. He wear a turban. Why y'all ain't wearing turbans? Where y'all get that bucket hat from? Please explain. Explain to me why y'all don't wear turbans. Like the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, who talked about you at home. What are you talking about? Drop all those little terms or whatever. I never heard him say to claim Moorish American. Never heard that. Last time I checked, he was Cherokee. How about y'all? Y'all, this dude called in reading the definition of American. But, well, how does that apply to Moor? Like, it doesn't. It doesn't. Period. Nobody was sitting around on the shores or the beaches and shit telling that girl when they came up and they was like, hey man, who are you guys? He's like, oh, we're Moors. Nobody never said that. And y'all know it. Stop being lame. Stop being liars. Stop being officers of the court. That's what y'all being, bro. Like literally niggas is bailiffs. Like y'all hit the gavel. You the niggas hugging the witnesses and shit. Y'all them niggas. Why throwing the book at your own people, bro? Because they said they don't consider themselves Moors. So y'all be like, well, y'all ain't a part of us. We don't look at it like that. We are a part of the total body. The body is sick, mentally ill. We got mentally ill people running around here, grown ass men under somebody else. We aren't under nobody over here. Nobody's under us. We ain't under nobody. We are a bunch of leaders over here. A decentralized leadership. Nobody's running around here. Yo, man, niggas got jobs to do. That's what we do. And we do them well, but we're not sitting over here like, oh man, that's my grand Sheik. I gotta get. Now we got some weirdos be like, man, I can't shit unless I ask my chief, can I use the bathroom? Can't make it up. I'm dead serious. So you do got some zealots in everything that you do, but you guys are zealots, man, and you going too hard for black. You're going too hard for more when these just terms, bro. And I don't even got to go back and forth and be like, well, then they equate black with African and stuff like that or whatever, because what you guys are essentially saying that you're African Americans. Root word don't agree with you guys. Root word don't agree that Moors come from Africa, or what is called Barbaria now, but what is called Africa now, for colloquial terms, Consul. Hey, we're gonna talk in modern terms. No, how are we talking about ancient times? We're talking about modern terms. That don't make sense. Because remember, they wasn't calling no motherfuckers Native Americans. They wasn't calling nobody African Americans in the 15, 16, 17, 1800s. Fuck out of here, bro. That don't make no goddamn sense. So when y'all say stuff, bro, I'm like, bro, like, why does that make sense to you that you could think you could just put stuff out there? You know what I'm saying? Then they asked me the question, well, when you guys gonna speak your native tongue? I said, bro, they didn't bring English here. We're speaking. These are our names: Brown, Johnson, Jackson, Jones. These are our names. Smith. They came here and changed their name. Doomkopfs means dumb heads. Okay? Okay? You're a dummkopf. German for dumb heads. Shit is crazy, bro. I can't make this up. Lotus, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo, did you find that picture of Nick Cannon? Then we get back into the video, but y'all gotta see this picture right before we get back to the video. I need to know what's going on. Niggas come from the wrong people, man.
Hold on real quick.
We are the scariest dudes in the community. Like, it's just crazy to me. Hey, Lex, I put up about 66 on y'all today. 25 rebounds. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, bro. It was all bad. I almost took a picture of you niggas. Y'all suck, bro. That shit is garbage. Niggas is pushing black now. Can't believe it. I really. Hey. Oh my God. I don't even know what's going on. James Brown.
I'm about to throw it on the screen right now. All right. All right. All right, sir.
That's crazy.
I got too much stuff up. Computer's starting to run slow. There it is. You see it, Chief?
Yeah, man. I'm just letting it soak in right real fast, yo. Now, last time I checked, there's a difference between a fez and a turban. Are we clear? So when did you guys turn over to the fezzes and away from the turban? It's just that's a great question because Nick Cannon getting it right. I don't think that the Zora Shriners is for us. That fez is not for us. That turban is, brother. Shout out to Duke, man. Shout out to Nick Cannon, man. Nick Cannon is in a position that a lot of people see him. You know what I'm saying? Now he's doing radio in the morning. You know, he's super rich. So I think it's a great thing that we have brothers that are enlightened, whatever school of thought, whatever they coming from, whoever gave them the information, whether it's Noble Jew Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. I can go on and on. Malcolm, whoever you got the information from, you got something to work off of, but you don't stay there. You don't stay in that like, oh, I'm done. Whatever the prophet was going through in 1920, I'm done. I'm right there. More information has came out, more things come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you stay right there in 1920? That makes no sense. The prophet wouldn't want you to stay right there in 1920. I see y'all done moved on with the hats, but he didn't wear a fez. He wore a turban. Remember the Turks that put you guys in fezes and shit? Yo. So yeah, man. Shout out to the prophet. Noble Drew Ali. Shout out to the Noble Ali Bay in the building. Hey man, this is bad, bro. This is bad. Where y'all get the damn turban from? You know, I don't know. What year did y'all turn over to the turban? I mean to the feds. I need to know. But yo, let's get back to the video, man. It's getting interesting, man. They just called in about the definition of America, and then he read it. The dude read it, and then now he's interpreting it. He's comprehending it into the what he wants it to be more, right? But it didn't say that. It doesn't say that anywhere. Nowhere. It doesn't say what you guys are saying. So same way that they can't find a definition of black that makes black powerful. They never can find a definition of that. Well, it's just in my heart. That's what they were really, bro. They were really saying dumb shit like that to me today. Bro, I was in a ring with 4 or 5 people at one time. Didn't even get a scratch. You didn't even touch my face. You didn't barely touch my gloves when y'all was moving. That's how so dumb and stupid y'all are. They was having a to talk slick when they was doing so. I'm like, bro, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, for real. But I seen you guys style and stuff like that. And I know how you guys speak, you know, how you guys can clown people and stuff like that. I get it. I'm ready for all that. I was, bro, banging this, bro. 66 points. 25 rebounds. Jordan in the Garden, nigga. The Boston Garden. Jordan in the motherfucking Madison Square Garden, brother. Jordan in motherfucking Staples Center, bro. That's what y'all watching, bro. That's when I come over there and turn up, nigga. I don't even, hey, blinders on. I didn't even see the chat room. I would have really been feasting on you niggas, bro. Y'all better be quiet, bro. Just for the record, Constant, you absolutely suck, bro. I can't believe you talking about you bliggity black. I'm black and I'm proud. Talking about he really said he's an African American, bro. Bro, like, how? How's way? I really need to know this. Like, this is the craziest shit. And they're gonna ask me what do I have on my birth certificate. I said Negro. See right there, you're black. You're from Africa because you got Negro on your other thing. I'm like, bro, no, no. You obviously, they was talking crazy about Seminole, like they know what a Seminole is. The Seminoles took us in, brother. I'm like, hey, bro, like what type of, where do y'all get y'all information, bro? Like a Cracker Jack box or something, niggas be, y'all goofy. Where y'all turban at, bro? Where y'all get them damn Shriner hats from? Shout out to the Prophet, man. Shout out to Nick Cannon. Let's get back into the video, bro. It's scalping season, man. Shout out to Aboriginal TV, man. Shout out to my partner Tin Car in the building. Peace to the guys, man. I'm black and I'm proud. Man, hey Nick, bro, I think you could play the Prophet, bro, like that. Damn. Like I know he was talking about making a Dr. Sabi movie, but man, I would love.
Say what you want about us, but they're called Moors. So Moors are Moors. Period. Like our good friend Norm Majid said, we are all Moors.
Islam, brother Yusuf, you got anything to add on with that?
Shalom.
Islam.
Shalom.
I don't have the book on me, but Frank Joseph in the book, what is it? Ancient Lost Colonies of America. In his book, though, he speaks of America being pronounced as Amaru or Amarak, which the Phoenicians
You want to address that? When we went through the history of them, did y'all see Phoenicians? Did they talk about any of that? Where are you getting this at? Islam is shalom. Sorry. It's a newer version of shalom. Y'all know it. No matter how you try to slice it, no matter how you try to turn it around, shalom is Islam. You have a Jewish origin, brother, a Hebrew origin. So when you guys be saying something, I already know Yeshua Hebrews right over here somewhere going in like, yeah, Chief, y'all Hebrews, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You just new Hebrews who have picked up Shrinerism. Sorry, what it is. Where your turban? Where your feathers at? I don't see him with a tassel hanging down. I don't see the Prophet with a tassel hanging down. I see a turban on his head and a feather. Y'all see that feather? But Phoenician, nah, that originates in America, brother. We've already talked about this, the artifacts and stuff like that or whatever. So yeah, America is much older than Morocco, sirs. And Morocco doesn't have anything to do with you guys. That's not like y'all Holy Land. At least the Hebrews would be like, man, the Holy Land for us is Israel. It's over in Israel. Where's y'all Holy Land? Please don't tell me Morocco. So don't do that. So yeah, go ahead, brother.
Man, their holy land is Mecca.
named it here. When they were traveling in here, what it meant was the North Star. So according to Frank Joseph, Amarak, or in the word America as well, or American, you have American or Al-Moroccan. It's phonetically, it's the Moors. Amir or a seafarer, that's the Moors. That's not Indian, whatever. Amir, it has all to do with Morocco. I remember Abdullah was going in one day in class, and because we say Moorish American. The way Abdullah teaches is that's redundant because you're saying more.
Yeah.
Because American is more. That's more. You're saying you're a more. So you can just say you're a Moor. That's why when my son, I ask him his nationality, he just says I'm a Moor, which will include the word American, because that's what it was. And another thing, American isn't Indian language. That's not Choctaw. That's not Blackfoot language. American is not a so-called Indian word. So I don't know how Indians can call themselves American, because I was listening to the video earlier and he was like, oh, well, y'all got a problem with the word American. Like, that has nothing to do with Indians. Nothing. I'm Moroccan. The word in the word itself, Amir, it means it goes back to the Moors, the seafarer, right in it. In French.
Yo, so these are the problems that we have with people who don't listen. I never called myself an Indian. Not one time. I explained to them 1,000 times I'm not Native American. Indian is another misnomer term, a descriptive term, an interchangeable term with Negro, colored, Black. These are all interchangeable words. They have created a narrative with movies, with books. Like, they came here and they said, oh, these people were calling themselves Indians. They wasn't even calling us Indians. They were more descriptive, like, oh, Negro de Terras, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they're writing these terms Black in time, okay? These terms did not exist in these time periods, like Native American, like African American, like Indian. These are newer terms, period. So when we get to the etym of these words, that breaks all this down, where these words come from and what they are talking about when they're talking about it. So it's the craziest, bro. Like, the shit that they saying doesn't make no sense. That America is more. So basically, they don't have to say Moorish American, because that's redundant. That's saying Black. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, once again, you gotta say what you're saying. Remember, America is older. What are y'all talking about? You talking about some stuff that don't make sense. You talking about terms. We have a homeland. This comes from here. They didn't bring none of this here. What are you talking about? And now you're trying to fit Morocco into everything. Morocco didn't exist during these time periods, bro. So then they say, well, the Moroccan kingdom. Well, it's bigger here. It's more here. It's more powerful here. Why would it be that place when you guys that didn't even exist there, didn't hold power there? That makes no sense. And once again, if you are identifying with Morocco, then that's Africa. That's over there. You identifying with Africa. You're African, a barbarian, Tunisian, Berber, Amazigh, or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all talking about? When are y'all gonna tap into those things? I heard Mobite, I heard all these other things, bro. That's not real. That's not true. But we're gonna get back to the video, right? Because it's about to get interesting, y'all. More interesting than what he's talking about. This shit crazy. I'm still trying to figure out when did you guys debunk anything that we're saying. You're not debunking it. You're actually reading what America means. But what you're doing is you're putting your belief system, Moorish belief system, on everything. Oh, that's Moorish science. Oh, that's this. That's this. Moorish this. More of this. More of this. More of that. But then you got a fool talking about that, or saying Moorish American is redundant. I think that's hilarious. There's no nationality as a Moorish American. Nowhere. They don't even give you a section for that to mark. So I'm really interested to know what you guys would check off on the census, because you're not gonna check the black section because it says black and African and all the other stuff that goes along with that, right? So you're not gonna check that. So I think you guys are gonna check the white box that has Northern Africans attached to it, which will put you in the social political construct with white people. So I don't even know why Moors would even be considered themselves a part of this conversation when you guys want to be white people from Northern Africa. That is not us. That's not our culture. Your culture is Northern Africa. Be Northern African. That's what it said. The first thing when you look up the etymology of Moor, right, and they're gonna do it, it says Northern African, Berber. It does not say Alibamu. That says nothing about Lemuria, Mu. None of that. It says Mauritania. That is so-called Barbaria, North Barbaria, sir. That is over there. That has nothing to do with us. So yeah, we're gonna get back into this thing, man. Yo, this is crazy. You can just go ahead and start it, man. Whenever you get go, I'll just be quiet. But yeah, man. Hey, once again, man, rest in paradise to the prophet, noble Drew Ali. Where y'all turban at, man? Where y'all feathers at? Feathers up, tomahawks out, arrows flying, baby. This is America, Jack.
That's the Moors. Those are the Moors. Islam, Grand Sheik.
Islam.
Shalom.
Now, the other tie is with regard to this concept of Moors are North African and indigenous people continuing to say that Moors are African, go back to Africa. What do you say about Moors being only African according to these Aboriginal indigenous people?
There's a lot of that. I think there's so many ways to poke a big hole in what that.
Oh yeah, poke as many holes as you want, more. We got time.
Okay. All right. So to start with, anybody can go on any computer they want. Use your favorite search engine, and you'll find an article that came out not that long ago. I know that I showed it a few times, where you'll see that soil samples from over here were taken, with soil samples taken on the northwestern shores of what they call now the continent of Africa, which we really know is Asia. And what the article goes in on is how the soil actually lines up perfectly, perfect match with the soil from what we call Newark, New Jersey, and what they call over there Morocco, or the Kingdom of Morocco. it doesn't take much more than that to be able to know that at one time the two land masses were really one, or still a one, and just got separated by a body of water.
Let me hold on. So check this out.
You have anything to add to that, Brother Yusuf?
Check this out, smart dummies. Now you caught yourself, right? First off, the same stuff that grows here don't grow there. It can't grow there because that means that the climate, the soil, everything is different. That's number one. Number two, I would like to see this article. They always just be making up stuff. You coming up with articles or whatever. You talking about continental drifts, but oh, the water's there, whatever. You have an ocean floor. You have an ocean floor. You actually have land masses that were actually above water. That's below water right now. So everything is still attached right now. I don't know what y'all talking about. That sounds crazy, deranged, lunatic. What does that have to do with more? That has nothing. Explain to me, how did he just poke a hole in us saying that Moors come from North so-called Africa, aka Barbaria? What are you talking about, bro? You did not do anything to stop that conversation, bro. You didn't. And then you said some damn pseudo ass shit, bro. That's the pseudo shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. So I reject your deposit, bro. That's nothing. So that's bro, y'all gets worse, like, but we're gonna spank him. But go ahead, bro.
I'm glad he went there, because that's exactly where I was going. And because it's numerous articles of, North Africa and America being connected. And it's just common sense. When you look at the map, everything fits like a puzzle. They tell you everything was connected. That's common. That's like commonly known. Everybody knows once upon a time the world was, all the continents was conjoined together. They called it Pangea. Everything was connected. But are they going by Eurocentric thinking, by saying we weren't on Earth yet, we weren't civilized yet, we weren't running government and stuff like that time? Like, all of that was being ran. All of that was being ran. But if they had Eurocentric thinking, they would think nothing was going on. But again, all these buildings that I forgot the lady's name. The European daughter was been putting in all this work, showing the Moorish catalog stuff. That's not Michelle Gibson. Michelle Gibson. Yep. Thank you. Give thanks for it. Michelle Gibson showing all this ancient architecture. None of those is teepees. I don't know who built that. Who built all this Moorish architecture?
Right, and then since
it's named Moorish architecture,
right? We'll also go to the PhD, Jose Pimenta Bay, Othello's Children in the New World, page 71.
Othello, hold on. Othello's Children. Lotus. Who is Othello? Can you please explain to everybody who's Othello?
The E-less spelling of the last name Moore strongly suggests that either his phenotype or nationality indicated Moorish ancestral ties. The same may have also been true of a Hosea Moore of Stillwater in Albany County, New York. Hosea is recorded as a loyalist who joined the Royal Army in 1777. Significantly, the late 19th century Scottish historian David McRitchie makes a rather matter-of-fact in the days of William Penn. Unfortunately, McRitchie doesn't explain why such brown-skinned Moors in North America blackened their faces in the first place, but his reference is highly intriguing. Reverend Ellenzer Wheelock was the founder and director of a school whose name demands attention, Moors Indian Charity School. According to an original text published in 1811, the school was named for its major contributor, Joshua Moore, who donated money and a house in November of 1763. But mysteriously, little information is given, if any, of the original source about the school's generous namesake, Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore is simply referred to as a respectable farmer in Mansfield, who made the first considerable donation to it. Students at Reverend Wheelock School included members of the Iroquois League, Delaware, Narragansetts, Mohawks, Mohegans. There were also independent English youth who initially attended and made up about half of the student population. But the school's records show that special attention was given to instructing Oneidas and Mohawks. Ralph Wheelock was Eliezer's brother and co-educator at the school. Ralph spoke of having several quote-unquote Indians handed over to him to be educated at the school. He spoke of 12 such educated Indians who returned home from the Congress, which had been held among the Six Nations. In addition to the Wheelock brothers, there were also some American Indian instructors at the school. David Fowler continent and the ancient people of Judea and Israel. Eliezer said that such Indians were the descendants of Abraham. Eliezer listed several of the points which convinced him of the connection. Eliezer pointed out that many American Indians and the ancient Asiatic peoples of the Holy Lands were both known to, 1, wear white garments during holy events, 2, wear conch shell breastplates like those of the Hebrews, 3, have a high priest and a prophet who fasted and prayed, 4, possess an ark such as at Otahite, which held sacred vessels. Only priests were allowed to observe the contents. 5, possess white towns where anyone might seek refuge if convicted of a crime, including murder. In such towns, no blood could be shed. 6, hold similar customs of mourning. 7, customarily take new names with new conditions. 8, practice atonement, cleansing, fasting, and forgiving annually. 9, practice circumcision such as those of the Amazon. Eliezer Wheelock also cited linguistic connections. He noted that there was a remarkable analogy between many Indian and Hebrew words. Wheelock also spoke of analogies with Mexico's Indian peoples. He said the language of Mexico can be traced to the languages of Persia, the Kurdic, the Arabs, and the Tartars. Reverend Wheelock believed the same of the Delaware, the Iroquois nations, Cherokees, Creeks, Choctaws, and many other tribes in North and South America. He, like McIntosh and several others, also asserted connections to China and Japan. Eliezer Wheelock said America's Indians were of Asiatic origin. He wrote, to support the Asiatic origin of our savages, the ancient forts and mounds of the Western country, the Ohio Valley, bring in their united testimony. These are less frequent on the Atlantic than to the west of our high range of mountains. Wheelock also speaks of Indian castles, which he described as Indian towns with high palisades surrounding them. Islam. Now,
hey, let's
we
stop
also
it right
want to
let's stop it right
touch on, because one of the
so what the dude was saying, right, is basically he's reading from a scholar, right? Gave a reference, and he's going into similarities of the tribes, right? Already here. This is before they're indoctrinating them into their version of what they already have: circumcision, offering, just all the things that he named, right? You know what I'm saying? So we've already had these things here. You understand what I'm saying? So the time period that they're talking about, this is the 1700s. This is still British, you know what I'm saying? Spanish, French, you know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with these different people. We're not dealing with um, uh, the government that we're talking about now, right? So the people in the 1700s, that the time period where these people are talking about in the Moors Indian Charity School, right? Hey, bro, can you pull that up while I break this down, right? So during this time period, the Americans would have been Indian Charity School.
Oh, there. Yeah. Right.
So Indian, the Moors Indian Charity School, yeah, Moors. Now, when he was reading it, he broke down. This is actually Caucasian, actual pale man's last name. So it's not like the Moors had a Indian charity school here in America, right? So we're gonna break down where it's from, all these things, what happened, because he didn't get into that, right? Because they only do basic research. They don't get in depth in it and don't break down, don't decipher the things or the agenda of whoever's writing the actual article. You can't keep pulling up articles. Show me some laws. Don't keep pulling up articles. Show me some artifacts. An article has to have references. So if you give me another reference or another book or somebody's made some shit up, no, that's pseudo. That's not real. So what you're doing is you're making shit up right now as you go. You're interpreting it for your followers who don't even try to think for themselves. Literally, if you're listening to what you're saying, you're interpreting it, comprehending it differently than what it's actually saying, y'all. It's literally saying the opposite of what he's. I just I'm like, when I see this, I'm like, yo, bro, is this real? Like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's literally reading stuff that's contradicting everything that you're saying, bro. They said circumcision like the Amazon. Like, Amazon is not in Africa. Yo, man, it's getting weird. So, yeah, man, I wanted to point that out. Yeah, that shit crazy. Like, I just can't believe that you guys put this type of effort into dumbness. Shit that's never gonna get you guys anything. Like, for real, it's not a hat. These concepts, things you guys are saying, yo, bro, it's not gonna get you no power ever. So it's interesting how you're saying that. Oh, let's take the Moorish off of it. Just now we're gonna start claiming America. I think that's very interesting. That Moors is America and all black people are Americans. And they're telling you that people were brown. Like, you know what I'm saying? And why did they paint themselves black and all this other stuff, bro? I'm not about to go back and forth with painting the face. Oh, you're painting the face black because of what? That has nothing to do with what you're talking about. See what I'm saying? So obviously the Europeans that are writing this tall tale that they're writing, they don't know what these ceremonies are. What are you talking about? That makes no sense, bro. Tell us about Mauritania. Tell us about Barbaria. You don't have nothing to do with the Moors Indian Charity School at all. So let's get into this. Shit. Hey, go back up to the top. Oh, no, okay, that's it. All right, Moore's Indian Charity School, right? Now y'all already know what an Indian school is. We it's indoctrination, but this is a specific one, so we're gonna get into this. All right. Many Christian missionaries, both Protestant and Catholic, have wrestled with the problem of how best to convert, quote, pagan Indians in the 34, Eleazar Willock felt that Indian missionaries could be supported for about half the cost of English missionaries. They spoke the Indian language and they were accustomed to Indian lifestyles, Wheelock said. Now, remember, we're talking about the Indians in 1734. They're not calling people Indian. They're calling these people Americans or their specific tribes. Delaware. Remember, the brother just read the stuff, right? But we're breaking down the Moors Indian school because he didn't. Okay, he was trying to go to the biblical stuff. That still has nothing to do with Moors. Moors didn't have nothing to do with circumcisions and stuff like that or whatever. What are you talking about? Y'all are new. Remember, Islam is new shalom. It's the best. This is the easiest I can break it down without getting too complicated for you. Okay, you're new, right? So get back to this. So Indian is new. Indian missionaries may be supposed better to understand the tempers and the customs of Indians and more readily conform to them in 1,000 things that the English can and in things wherein the non-conformity of the conformity of the English may cause disgust and be construed as the fruit of pride and an evidence and expression of their scorn and disrespect, end quote. In order to create the Indian missionaries needed for this effort, Eleazar Willock founded Moore's Indian Charity School in Lebanon, Connecticut. All right. The school was named for its chief benefactor, Joshua Moore, who donated a house and 2 acres of land. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, whoa. Look at Joshua Moore, though. All right. It gets worse. While some of the inspiration for the school had come from Willock's experience in the tutoring of a Mohegan named Samson Okun from 1743 to 1748. Willock felt that the plan for the school was divinely inspired. The Indian boys who attended the school were separated from their own culture and were given a classical education in Latin and Greek, looking at the school through the lens of British standards. it appeared to be a sound approach to education. From an Indian viewpoint, however, it was a form of cultural genocide. I gotta say that again. From the viewpoint of us Negroes, aka Aborigines of this land, this was cultural genocide. According to law, right? According to law, you guys did this. You guys were teaching us a British, Spanish, French perspective and was taking us away from our cultures here to best serve your social political needs. So they're telling you right there that they're teaching them to have a British perspective. So a lot of times when you guys are arguing, you're arguing from a British perspective. Period. Literally be arguing for the British. Literally be pushing their agendas on our people and don't even know it a lot of times. So when you name yourself these names, Moore and whatever you name it, like you're like, come on, bro, like you're conceding, you're dominated. That's what you guys are doing, and this is what the school was about. So they could teach you this stuff, then they can send you back out into the community and spread these goddamn indoctrination slave narrative to our people. So that's what you guys are pushing, but you cover it up with religion. Do you understand? You tap into our stuff that we already naturally doing. We was already naturally doing it. So then they allow you come back speaking their languages and speaking having their viewpoints on stuff because that's how they indoctrinated you. That's how they educated you, and they did it on purpose. That's called genocide according to law. So what we're doing is tapping into those things. We're not tapping into words. Words don't. Only words that we're tapping into the ones that you guys read. The copper-colored aboriginals of this land. Those are Americans. So these people that they're talking about are Americans. It gets deep, y'all. Watch this shit. So the Indian boys began each day with prayer and caterism. Think about this. Before dawn. This was followed by formal instruction in Greek and Latin. The Indian boys were required to work on the school's farm half the day, a task classified as husbandry, okay? Most of the Indian students showed little interest in farm chores. Indian girls attended academic classes only one day a week. The rest of the time, they were delegated to non-Indian households where they worked as servants. Some would say they are slaves. I'm sorry. Some would say that they are slaves. So y'all get that? Servants, slaves, because these are Negroes, okay? Like other females in British New England, they were taught subjects that would assist their husband needs. Willock, like other missionaries, educators, and English leaders of this era, was convinced that the presence of Indian girls at the school would result in future wifely companionship for the Indian missionary husband. Initially, recruitment of the students was limited to New England and New Jersey since the war between the French and the English, sometimes called the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763, sometimes called the French and Negro War, okay? Interfered with recruitment in other areas. Two Delaware boys, Punjab and Italy, were the first two students at the school. They were later joined by Pequot, Mohegan, and Montauk student. Okay, check this out. Beginning in 1761, Willock was able to recruit students from Iroquois in New York. At the same time, the first two Indian girls enrolled. Amy Johnson, a Mohegan, and Miriam Stores, a Delaware. These are all Negroes, right? So we haven't even got to. I know we did something. We were getting into the Delaware Indians who were the Delaware Negroes because they were Indian. What they call them anyway, Americans, but they were Negro tribes who joined in the Revolutionary War. Okay. Okay, do y'all get that? Like, so these people are the Massachusetts, the Delaware, the Connecticut, the Pequot. All these people are Negro. There's still Negroes up there now, so this shit don't make sense. So when we're talking about the King Philip's War and all these other things, they had displaced hundreds of thousands of Pequots, millions of people, taking them back and forth to the Caribbean islands or taking them to other places in the on the mainland of Americas. And then now you turn around telling everybody, oh well, you guys were the African slaves that ran away into the Florida territories and joined with Seminole Indians. That's the dumbest shit ever. That's not actual history when we actually have documentation of who these people were. So that's not true. So probably the most famous student at Moore's Indian Charity School was the Mohawk Joseph Brant. In 1761, 3 young Mohawk men, Joseph Brant, it looks like niggas, and Center, were sent to the school. All of the Mohawk kept their forces really ready so that they could flee back to their own country. Center and Negro, whatever, soon returned home. But Brant stayed on to improve his written Mohawk and to learn spoken and written English. Joseph Brant, whose Mohawk name was, oh my God, it looked like Dayan the Nigga, was the son of, Errol Glide Decker, Nicholas Grant, right? That was his, I guess, his more Americanized name. The grandson of the Sagamore, one of the sachems who visited Queen Anne's court at the beginning of the century, and the brother of Molly Brant, the consort of Sir William Johnson, the British Indian superintendent. Okay, students from the school sometimes helped in missionary efforts. For example, in 1761, David Fowler Motock, who was a student at the Moore's Indian Charity School, accompanied his brother-in-law, the Mohegan Christian missionary Samson Okun, on a visit to the Oneida. They visited the Oneida on the behalf of the Presbyterian Missionary Organization, the Society in Scotland, for propagating.
Hold on. This name Occom with Occom. You can also find this name as Yoakum.
Yoakum?
I wanted to share that real quick.
Is Occam? Okay. So they went back to the Oneida, they went to the Oneida pushing this bullshit from the Presbyterian Missionary Organization, the Society in Scotland, for propagating Christian knowledge. The Oneida were receptive to a missionary and a school, and they presented Occam with a wampum belt. They present, to bind them together in love and friendship. That was y'all see how that worked? See, they take it in Occam, right? Hey, this is our brother, but he's actually an agent for the Presbyterian takeover. You understand? Occam told the Oneida that they were to wear their hair long in the English style, check, and that they were not to wear Indian ornaments. In 1765, the first students from the Moors Indian Charity School were ready for examination. What? By the Connecticut Board of Correspondence, one of the several such colonial boards that represented society in Scotland for propagating Christian knowledge. A total of 11 students graduated, with 3 Indian boys becoming schoolmasters to the Iroquois and 6 serving as teaching assistants. Do y'all get? So they just trained us, and we could just go back into our communities, right, and teach exactly what they taught us. And this is exactly what we did. Literally, through the churches, missionaries, through the revivals and all these other things. This is what they did. Okay. Moore Indian School closed. In 1768, the Moors Indian Charity School closed. About 50 Indian students had studied at the school, and 15 had returned to their homes as missionaries, schoolmasters, or assistants to non-Indian ministers. Overall, Moore's Charity School made no lasting evangelical, right? But it's evangelistic mark. By the mid 1760s, Eliza Willock had realized that his plan of sending missionaries to the Indian homeland to educate and convert Indians was not working as planned. He began to look for new directions in which to move. In 1769, he received a charter for a new school, one which would be named for William II, Earl of Dartmouth. Willock was appointed Dartmouth College first president. Yeah, I think that's it for that one. Oh shit. So are we? And now I remember I spoke to you earlier about this, right? And you said you had never heard of this particular school. They had a lot of different schools like this, bro. Even before this, they were indoctrinating, like they would literally kidnap one of us, right? Take us to England, right? Teach us some shit, and then bring us back, put us amongst our people. Check. Right. They literally would do this. But now they've come over here, they set up schools, and then they say, okay, well, not only you learn yourself, but you're so good that you can become the headmaster of the school back in your community, right? Indoctrinating your people away from their power. This is what has happened. And we're showing you exactly when they did it. Like, this is crazy. This is really, 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 really crazy. People say, well, how did they take all y'all land? They kicked our ass? No, they just educated us. They tricked us. They used our people to do it. So they sent our people back in a nice suit, shiny car. You be like, oh shit, they educated. We need to listen to them. They got the power. They got the juice. And these are the same gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying, that you guys are representing, bro. And this is the problem. This is the problem. So they never said more none of these times right here. Y'all keep putting more on top of everything. They never said more. None of this conversation that dude read, they was never like, boy, he's interjecting that. He's assuming everybody's more. This shit crazy. Hey, can you go to the next one that I sent you from I think I got to see this because hear this because it gets deep, bro. This is crazy. Yeah, you're gonna learn today. Yeah, man, y'all gotta bear with me, man. This thing is little on my screen, so it's hard to see some of the stuff. And I gotta hold it back, but I can't be up on the screen. Y'all can hear me good, so I want to be up close on the phone. So yeah, it's real. Hold it back. Yeah, that's super little. You're gonna have to read that. Okay. Moore's Charity School. See, they even tried to take credit for that. We just showed you what the dude looked like. All right, Lebanon. All right, so last time I checked, Lebanon didn't exist as a country over there. So they have Lebanon, Connecticut in 1754 by Puritan Calvinist minister Eliza Willock. He is a Puritan Calvinist to provide education for Native Americans who desired to be missionaries to the native tribes. Nobody desired to be no motherfucking missionary to native tribes, and nobody was called Native Americans. So you could drop the native and just say Americans. They were considering these tribes Americans. British people were British, check. French people were French, check. Spanish people were Spanish, or whatever terms that they were calling them during these time periods. Dutch people were Dutch, and so on and so forth. So that doesn't make any sense for y'all not to know that, what was going on in these time periods. Now go back up. Yeah, go back up. No, is that back to the article? Back to the top? What I was reading? Okay, there you go. Yeah, so we broke down the Native American and we talked about who desired to be missionaries. They, got tricked. Hey, am I tripping on the Native Americans, or are we clear that this article was written whenever it was written, and they put Native Americans in there? There's no such thing as Native Americans in 1754.
Yeah, that's a neological interjection. Yeah, it is. It's terminology that didn't exist in that time of historical.
They try to tell me a concept called etymology fallacy. I'm like constantly so dumb, bro. And the dude that was trying to have this conversation with me, right? I'm like, yo, what does this mean? And he was just, it's all subjective. It's all some bullshit. There's never nothing solid that these niggas is standing on. You know what I'm saying? So they always got to come up with all these fancy little terms. At the end of the day, if when I asked you what it was, and then they were like, oh, well, black is that you're trying to use, like basically it has, words have different meanings, right? But I asked them to show me a different meaning for black. They gave it power. They never could. They never showed me what black power was. So there's no such thing as Native American. It was American in 1754. It wasn't Native American in 1754. Check. And they're still not talking about no Africans over here. They're not talking about no Moors, even though Moors are over here, dealing, with loyalists or non-loyalists or whoever they were dealing with. But yeah, you had so-called Moors who came over here from Europe. Period. So are y'all taking credit for those European Moors? Are those y'all people? So yeah, man, keep going. Is that all for the article? Scroll down some more.
Nah, that's barely the beginning.
That's just the beginning, right? Is that what you said? The earliest known images of Dartmouth College, which appeared in the February 1793 issue of Massachusetts Magazine, illustrated a brief article on the college. Artist Hosea Dunham, a member of the class of 1789, was a preceptor at Moore's Indian Charity School at the time. Lebanon, Connecticut. Type Charity School, established 1754, closed 1770. Enrollment 49. So only 49 students actually enrolled in the school. And they already told you 15 graduated, right? Eliza Willock became involved in education when Samson Oakland, a Mohegan American, that asked Reverend Willock for instruction. The English school, with teacher Eliza Willock and just one native student, Samson Oakham, transformed into Moore's Indian Charity School from 1750 to early 1770s. 49 American boys and 18 American girls were educated at the school. Between 1766 and 1768, Oakland went on a fundraising tour. Check this out, y'all. They sent Oakland over there to Europe to do a fundraising in Britain to raise money for the school. The fundraising effort was extremely successful, raising 12,000 pounds in donations. Reverend Willock took the fundraising money, moved the school's location, and used the money to eventually build Dartmouth School. Controversially existed with this action. Samson Oakham charged, check it out, right? All the money has done is it has made Dr. Willock's family very grand in the world. So now the brother went to England, raised the $12,000, came back to America and gave it to Moore. I mean, to Eliezer. Is this real? Did y'all hear that? And then complained about it that it just made made his family grander in the world. So I just think that's interesting. The school survived for only a fairly short time, as Connecticut was located far from the Native American territories on the frontier of the British colonies in North America. And because Willock desired to expand the institution to include a school for Europeans, the institution was moved to New Hampshire in 1770, where it was reestablished as Dartmouth College. All right, keep going. Yeah, there's a couple books in there. Go to the next one that I sent you. It's some nuggets up in there, but that's some good stuff right there too, y'all. It's kind of reiterating what the first references to it is, to this charity school, whatever. But we're gonna dig a little deeper. It's crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. So the dude went over there to raise some money for Eliezer Willock, Willock, and Willock, he literally brought the money back and gave it to Willock. It's the amazing thing that he can send dude over there and get the money and then come back. That's incredible. But dude is a Calvinist. So, Lotus, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to the video.
Excuse me. Shit. Was not supposed to click on that? Yeah, this is the next article that you had sent me. Was American Indians in 1618?
Yeah, that's it. I can't see it though. This was written December 2nd, 2017. So it wasn't written in 1618, okay? I'll be slow. During the first part of the 17th century, conflicts, and that's the 1600s, conflicts and potential conflicts between Americans and the invading Europeans increased. I'm gonna say this again. During the first part of the 17th century, conflicts and potential conflicts between Americans and the invading Europeans increased. Enamored with idea of gaining personal wealth through the exploitation of Indian lands for European countries, France, England, Netherlands, and Spain established permanent colonies in the Americas. Archaeologist Gerald Melanish, in his book Laboring in the Fields of the Lord, Spanish Missions and Southern Indians, described the reason for the European expansion. Check this out. Quote, the driving force behind these initiatives was a desire for wealth, precious stones and metals, fertile land suitable for productive plantations, human populations to be sold into slavery, and animals and plants that could be hunted or harvested and exported, end quote. The English adopted the concept of vacuum domicilium, which meant that if they felt that the lands were vacant, lacking land development, meaning fenced fields, and permanent structures, meaning English-style buildings, then they could be occupied and possessed without any concern for actual American ownership or use of the land. From the English viewpoint, only land that is tilled, fenced, and built upon was owned, while surplus American crops were important for English survival. The English still viewed the Americans as nomadic hunters who therefore did not own the land. Think about that. In Virginia, the English colonists realized that great profit could be made by raising tobacco, and the colony began to rapidly expand. In their book, The Columbia Guide to American Indians of the Southeast, Theta, Purdue, and Michael Green report, quote, the expansion of Virginia up the rivers that flow into Chesapeake Bay put English colonists into direct territorial competition with the Powhatans because the Virginians looked to Powhatan cornfields as space already cleared for tobacco, end quote. In Virginia, the English colonial governor decreed that Indians were not to be taught to shoot guns. Now, remember all this conversation about so-called slaves not being able to carry guns and be taught certain things and stuff like that or whatever, right? So this is the time period. This is the 1600s. They're talking about the American people, the indigenous people that they were dealing with here, the different tribes that they were dealing with here who were Negroes that they were subjugating and enslaving. They were going to war with, and they call it the the Negro problem or the Indian problem. These are interchangeable words. Okay, so the problem was that we were here and they needed us moved around. They wanted to take our shit, and they're still taking our shit, and you're helping them by pushing their agendas, pushing their verbiage, pushing their words, pushing their, everything that takes us off this land, whether it's more, whether it's Black Americans, whatever. That shit is not right and exact, right? And we're gonna get into it. In Virginia, the English colonial governor decreed that Indians were not to be taught to shoot guns. The decree called for the punishment of death to both the teacher and the student. Theta, Purdue, and Michael Green write, quote, native Southerners use guns primarily for warfare, not hunting, and groups with guns enjoyed an immediate advantage over groups without them, end quote. In Virginia, the English colonialists set aside 1,000 acres at Henrico for the construction of a college of Indian children. Bobby Wright and William Thurney, in their chapter on higher education and structured inequality in the United States discussion, on the continuing significance of race, ethnicity, and gender, point out, quote, however, the Virginia Americans resisted such cultural intrusion, end quote. In other words, formal European-style education had little appeal to the Americans. In Virginia, the supreme chief of the Powhatan, Wahunsan Cock, died, and his lame younger brother, y'all see that, Etokan, became the new Powhatan. The older brother, Opechuna, that had popular support from the people, and there was some struggle for leadership between the two men. At this time, the Powhatans were a confederacy of about 30 tribes and were a major political, military, and economic power. I said, well, power at political, military, economic. That's where it's at. In France, Samuel D. Champlain proposed to the Chamber of Commerce that 300 families and 300 soldiers establish an agricultural and commercial settlement on the St. Lawrence in Quebec. Historian Matthew Dennis, in his book, Cultivating a Landscape of Peace, Iroquois European Encounters in the 17th Century America, reports, quote, check this out, within 4 years, Champlain believed the colony would attain self-sufficiency and begin to pay great dividends from its fisheries, forests, mines, fur resources, and farms on the modest investments of the chamber or the king. In addition, French coffers might be filled by trade with Asia if a passage to the east was ever located. Matthew Dennis also reports, not least among the many advantages of Champlain's colonization plan was the anticipation that countless souls would be redeemed by the church. King Louis XIII announced his approval of the plan. With regard to Champlain's view on New France, Karen Anderson, in her book, Chain Her by One Foot, The Subjugation of American Women in the 17th Century, New France, writes, quote, especially important were the American populations which could be interbred with French settlers to produce, check this out, y'all, a new race of people. I gotta read that again. Lotus, I gotta read that again. Especially important were the native populations, right? Were the American populations which could be interbred with French settlers to produce a new race of people, end quote. Karen Anderson writes, the native population had to be tamed. Oh my God, I gotta say that again. Candyland, more. Are you tamed, my brother? The native population had to be tamed, civilized, and intermarried with French peasant stock. End quote. Damn. The American population had to be tamed, civilized, and intermarried with French peasant stock. Wow. I think that's it for that too, brother. Oh, is there more right there? Oh no, I want to read what Philip Fraser said right there. Let's go back and on that. It was an interesting that Philip Fraser wrote in the, I guess it was a comment. Keep scrolling. Down.
Hey, we got one of our Moorish brothers in the building.
Shalom.
Shalom, L. What up, L? That's what we say in Pasadena. Like, what up, L?
Hey, it's Grand Sheik and Noble Lotus in the building tonight. How about that? Hey, scroll down to that comment from Philip Fraser real fast. Then we're gonna go to the one more before we get back to the video. Yeah, y'all gotta hear this, man. This shit crazy. I was reading this shit like, yo, what is he talking about? That doesn't make no sense. Philip, this is September the 12th, 2019, right? It does sound exactly how the indigenous people were treated, gathering resources, minerals, and brought into slavery. The English certainly had their own understanding about taking of life and liberty, who have no intention to share you. More Than a Name, 13 White Slave African Masters by Paul. What does that got? What? The Moorish Empire by Budget. Bro, all Africans go home. It's time for an audit. Huh?
That was a video.
Moorish scholarship authors Family Lane Pope, J.A. Rogers, Dr. Ivan Surgeon, Dr. Amin Bay. Yo, hey bro, salute. Hey, once again, that has nothing. You're getting mixed up with words. At the end of the day, we talking ancient. We're not talking. This right here is the 1800s, bro. What are you talking about? We're going straight to what y'all where y'all Grand Sheik went. I just took what he took and then took it further. And we got more. It ain't even over. This shit crazy. All right. We said build a whole school for 15 graduates.
Original indigenous scholar guys were making the reference that Venezuela was named after Venice because when they went there, they noticed that it looked like Venice. So what would that mean that Venezuela looked like? Well, let's just see. The Islamic impact on Venice. The latest Islamic tastes were often reflected in the homes of the richest Venetians, for whom luxury objects from the East became desired collectibles. Islamic art and architecture also influenced Venetian painting. Artists who traveled to Islamic lands were fascinated by the people, garments, and architecture they saw and sketched them in meticulous detail. Many brought their drawings back to Europe, where they circulated widely in artistic circles. Such sketches influenced a whole generation of painters and led to the popularity of Eastern scenes and costumes in Venice. And then they say, check this picture right here. So I'll just show you this picture to show you the Islamic presence in Venice. Now, if that's the Islamic presence in Venice, and that's Italy, and then that looks like the Alhambra, which was built by the Moors, and then Venezuela is named after Venice, and then the architecture in Venezuela, when the Europeans went there, reminded them of Venice. Common sense would tell you that it's because the place looked Islamic. If Venezuela looked Islamic, then where else around here looked Islamic? If Christopher Columbus came here and he saw a mosque on the hill,
Man, there is no such thing as something looking Islamic. Damn.
I mean, bro, like that is the craziest shit ever, bro. Like we just like Islam, shalom. So is it shalamic? Like, yo, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, you are new. More is new. It's not ancient. So when you start getting to ancient conversations, it's not gonna be more. You're gonna start saying Moabite, move. You're gonna start saying Egyptian. You're gonna start saying all these other tribes. More is not a nationality. It's not a goddamn tribe. It's nothing. Okay? You can be mad. You can be all caught up in a word spell. You can get all into your belief system, but it is not real. Same way that y'all tell an Israelite, man, that ain't real. That ain't no such thing as that or whatever. Your homeland ain't in Israel. They just created that. You have to have the same conversation for yourself. There's no such thing as Morocco or Moroccan kingdom. You guys are playing games. That flag has nothing to do with Morocco. So I don't know what y'all got going on. Where's your blue, yellow, and green flag at, bro? That conversation is asinine. Like this is, we're looking at y'all like, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't make any sense. It can't make sense. The dudes that say that they are learned and that they more supposed to be smart and all of this stuff. I don't see that. I see people who are believers. So, nope.
And the Franciscan priests are gonna see Indians here and say these Moors and stuff like that. What the hell you think they saw when they came over here? Some grass skirt, leather skirt wearing guys? Or did they see everything Moorish when they came here? And this is the issue that I have with these people. Because they would claim that they're everything else. When you have stone telling you that over here is Moorish, you're not going to convince me about some Aboriginal indigenous attraction BS. Because like the Moor said, Anur Madrid said, we are all Moors. You can't even get around it. If you want to get around it, you're playing yourself. Venetian paintings, particularly of biblical subjects, incorporated settings inspired by Mamluk Egypt and Ottoman Turkey. In addition to artistic influence, oh yeah, and keep in mind, anytime you hear Ottoman, that's late Moorish Empire. Don't hear Ottoman, and then you're starting to talk about some Turks and all.
Well, what else can you talk about? You don't have nothing to say that. They created you. Bro, we just broke down y'all history last night. Did he miss that? He might have missed that. Well, he did. He did this before that. They didn't make a response video today. We just finishing them up. It's crazy. What you about to say, bro?
I said he sounds upset, hurt even. Let's get back to it.
All that stuff when the Ottoman Turks came out of the Moorish Empire. In addition to artistic influence, the Islamic world.
Then he said that shit.
Also contributed to the scientific growth of Venetian culture. Many of the classical, astronomical, and mathematical treatises known in Venice were originally introduced through Arabic translation.
See, real quick.
See science and the art of the Islamic world.
Real quick.
Various
our architecture is older, and we have 1,000 times more stuff than any other. You could put all their stuff all together on the continent of so-called Africa that he's claiming, right? You don't have, you don't even have pyramids. You don't even have these type of structures in so-called Morocco. So they attach themselves back to so-called Egypt. But now you down in the Ottoman Turks when those are your fathers. Those are your forefathers. Am I missing something here, Lotus? How is he walking away from the Ottoman Turks when you wearing their hat?
Right.
You're literally wearing you're literally using their stuff. And what are you talking about? I just need to ask the Moorish brother in the chat room. Do you wear a fez or a turban, brother? All y'all. I'm asking all y'all there. Y'all gonna learn today. Spying on the people. You're not having it. So yeah, man. Yeah, let's get back to that, man. I needed to say that, man. We have more architecture, no pun intended, like more, but we have way more than you have, and ours is older. It's grander and older. So stop telling us like it comes from there. That's slow, bro. Science, mathematics has put us in front and not behind, because you see it from the Arab conquest with the sword. Remember the sword, y'all? They see it from their conquest. You guys were literally put together by the Caucasians here in America, who got it from the Arabs. Literally. This is not from us. What the rendition that you have with it right now. So I just want to get back to that, man. So this guy is speaking and the stuff he's saying is not right and exact. So let's go.
connections left a very tangible legacy in Venice. By the 19th century, some of the most important and largest collections of Islamic art were in Venetian lands. Walter Denny, Ottoman velvets were for the most part woven not in Istanbul, but in the old Ottoman capital, an important provincial center of Bursa. Bursa velvets were used extensively as costumes and vestments by Europeans, especially by Russians. But in the Ottoman Empire, which again was the Moorish Empire, they were used almost exclusively not for costumes, but as furnishing fabrics. Among the most beloved genres of Ottoman furnishing fabrics was the yastik, a flat bolster cover, sometimes with a medallion and sometimes with repeated designs in which a characteristic end finish of lappets and flap-like forms in which small palisades containing flowers, carnations or tulips or rosebuds are frequently visible. Bursa velvets, unlike Persian velvets, always show us a very limited palette. Generally, there is one ground color, overwhelmingly red, with little accents of green. Red with little accents of green? What does that sound like to you? Doesn't that sound Moorish? Islam Moors. I don't know if you have anything to add on before I continue on.
Islam, Green Sheik.
Islam.
You just give you all the information. You killed them because even with the when you had mentioned the conquistadors coming over and saying those Moors, we even showed the document in that book where they referred to Montezuma's headdress as the Moorish hat.
Moorish hat.
And this was in the 1500s.
Mm-hmm.
And we also showed the document where it says that in 1621 the word Indian the word Moor was substituted for the word Indian. Up until 1621 it was just Moorish. They changed it.
Moorish. All up and down this, it was Moorish. Unavoidable.
Islam.
Islam more.
Islam.
I just wanted to add on the candle back on the point, Ushu Braneki, that not only was current day Mexico Moorish, but all of South America. I'm coming out of a book called Historical Researchers on the Conquest of Peru, Mexico, Bogota, Natchez, and Talameco in the 13th century by the Mongols. This book's written by John Rankin. I'm just going to read a sentence. This is page 94. It's going over the lineage of Caciques. Caciques are the current day, what we would call current day Spanish speaking, Moors in South America. And they're describing what they usually wear on their head. And this is coming from the 13th century. They wear upon their heads a covering, in parentheses, toque, fig, and garland, which is French, translates to toque of garland, which they call Pilu, Pillu. Now, why would I bring that up? You may want to Google and search Pillu and then look on images, and you'll clearly see it may not have a tassel, may not be red, but you'll find nothing but a fez. Islam.
Islam. You just go see that.
Hey, y'all notice how they just interjecting everything, war. Oh my God. I mean, so then
Pilu, a toque.
That came here. That's what you're saying. At some point in time, you're still standing on that paradigm, but you don't have any evidence for that. Zero evidence.
No. The question now, because we've listed some references. The Aboriginal guys are saying that Why do we need to show books? Why do we need to show books? Because can't you just think? Could you speak on the point of why people should have references, especially book references?
I think the key about having the books or points of reference is best summarized by the Aboriginal and Indigenous argument that was recently made. Said that reading what you read isn't necessarily what is the message that's trying to be conveyed. It's not just about reading the words. It's all about something, and I'm going to paraphrase for the brother.
Right.
It's all about comprehension. So one cannot comprehend for themselves if they don't have the source material. If you're hearing someone else's interpretation, then you're basing your perception on that subject matter off someone else's comprehension. By having the source, you're free to go, look up the material, read it, digest it, look up the words that you don't know, make sure you don't go past any, because if you do, you may miss the actual point that the data is trying to give you. But that's just basic research. Islam.
Islam.
Shalom.
You got anything to add, Brother Yusuf?
Islam. And just to add on, another reason we use books for reference is because, you know, man does not know what man is told. I don't want to just you to take my word for it. I'm going to give you the reference where you can go look it up for yourself. You know, like, because that we always say it all the time. This isn't what I'm saying. It's in the literature. This isn't us saying it. We get it from the literature because we don't want people to believe what we're saying. Like, it's a fact. You know, like that's the whole thing. Like, as soon as you get the reference, you see that it's a fact. He didn't say this. I didn't, you know, like when we bring up the reference that they found the Moorish hat in 1521, none of us even existed in 1521. That's a major reference. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, that's a major reference. Like if we just say that, you know what I mean? Like that's nothing. But when he tell you, oh yeah, you can go research it, put it in the Google search, you know, and go into the books. When you go into the Google search, click books and search it, it'll pop right up, show you what book is in and everything. And like the master teacher said, it really wasn't even hidden.
Yeah.
Like it was simple. It was simple. But that's a major. Like I couldn't say that. I couldn't just say, oh, they changed the word in 1620. I wouldn't think to make that up. Like I read that. We read that. Showed the reference. Like that's why I love to show references from books because you get to see the fact for yourself. It's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Islam. Now again, just going back to this Venice thing, so you can get the whole perspective about Venezuela and the Moors, and why FOH to all these Aboriginal indigenous people talking BS. Even St. Mark's Basilica, built when Venice was still a semi-autonomous outpost of the Apostles' Church in Constantinople, underwent some extraordinary modifications. Its low curving Byzantine domes were raised and given their present bulbous profiles in imitation of Mamluk mosques and tombs, and the church's grand portals were restructured to lend them a distinctly Moorish flavor. A distinctly Moorish flavor. So again, when you go to Venice and they say they named Venezuela after Venice, this is what they saw in Venezuela. They saw stuff like look like this in Venezuela. Ain't no Indians, Aboriginal, Autochtons built anything looking like this. They saw things looking like this in Venezuela. Right? Remember that Venice's architecture is Gothic and Eastern. One thing to notice when you're looking at Venice's architecture in general, with its elegant pointed arches and lacy details, is just how different it looks from the architecture you see in, say, Rome or Florence. Unlike those cities, Venice was at its most prosperous during the Middle Ages. By the 12th century, it was already a powerful and moneyed republic. And at that time, Gothic-style architecture was the trend. Unsurprisingly, therefore, Venetian architecture became largely Gothic architecture, with its asymmetricality and emphasis on light. After the Renaissance hit, you know the Renaissance is the Moors, with its focus on rationalism and balance, architects started to incorporate some of its hallmarks, like rounded rather than pointed arches. Even so, they continue to blend Renaissance innovations with that same Gothic style. Plus, unlike other Italian cities, Venice had close ties to the East thanks to its vast trade networks. A lot of Venetian architecture, therefore, was taken from Byzantine and Moorish styles. So what did these people see when they went to Venezuela? What did they see? They saw stuff that looked Moorish. What did they see? They saw stuff that looked Moorish when they went to Venezuela. And you just pull up pictures of Venezuela and they'll show you the same stuff that they got going on right now there. Aboriginal and indigenous, but denying the connection to the Moors. Now, once again, for these Aboriginal, indigenous, whoever's, again, Jose Pimenta Bay, our fellow children of the New World. In Mexico, Mande Muslims were in the majority, though there were also some Fula, Tukulor, and Mosi Muslims as well. The legacy of the Mande Muslim in Mexico today are seen in the Amerindian magic and the numerous places in Mexico which bear their name. In addition, we observe Mande Islamic religious traditions among the Indians and Mande words in the Nahulatan language, Othmi and Nanticoke languages. Again, it is significant that all such ethnic groups mentioned occupy the historic boundaries of Moorish dominions. The connection to the Nanticoke is particularly relevant as this Delaware-based nation specifically asserts Moorish origins and has a sister nation known as the Moors. Aboriginal indigenous, but you're not claiming nothing Moorish. But the people who are in Mexico, even though They're going to talk about Fula and Mandi and Tukolor and Mosi and all that stuff. They're still saying Moorish. Why? Because everybody knows, even Spanish-speaking people know, that African countries, African tribes, African nations were part of the Moroccan Empire. And the Moroccan Empire went from over there across the Great Atlantis onto the present North, South, and Central Americas and the adjoining islands. Why is it so hard for these people to accept the fact that they're Moors? Why is it that they're going to talk so crazy about rights and that they're Aboriginal and Indigenous? What the UN tells these Aboriginal and Indigenous people that they have a right to a nationality, and these people are arbitrarily denying themselves their right to a nationality and claiming that they're some tribe. And want to know how come Moors don't want to deal with them. And how come Moors going to go in their chat and talk crazy at them to try to wake them up. And then they're going to be blocking Moors from being able to talk in their chat. Because obviously they know that we have something right to say. Why would you block somebody if they're talking crazy and wrong? Why wouldn't you let the person talking wrong talk? Just let them talk. The more they're so wrong, why are you blocking us in your chat? Obviously, we have something right to say. And then they're going to put their little link to go on their little platform so these people could try to run train on one more. They could bum rush one more on their little platform, but they're not going to tell the people that the more been emailed them about why don't we set up something so we can discuss this. Since you guys are so about unity or whatever, how come you don't set up a separate thing for Moors and the Aboriginal Indigenous to come together in unity and have a discussion? No, they don't want to do that. They want to do the versus Frank Gary BS and tell Moors to go suck stuff and all of that stuff and have their little minions in their chat LOLing and throwing up feathers and all this type of BS when we already know that these people are sellouts. That's why I went on their thing and I told them that they're sellouts, because there's no way that they're going to agree that they're indigenous. But when Moors bring up nationality and that nationality is the order of the day, they don't want to hear what Moors are saying. They're going to talk about, we don't need to know any of that. We don't need to do that. It's not about nationality. Moors are Berbers and all this stuff, talking crazy. Again, we already know what's up. We got our birthright. We could lock down YouTube tomorrow and not give a shit about anybody out here. Forget giving anybody info. Find us if you want to know something about Moors. But no, we have a duty as Moors to uplift fallen humanity, because humanity has fallen. And we're about that radical enlightenment. We're about beat you with the spike bat to wake you up. Forget slap you with a book. Spike bat to your head to wake you up. Guarantee that you're going to learn from Moors. Guarantee. And we have enough Moors that were Negro, black, colored, that woke the hell up because of Moors. You name them. You're not going to find me any Aboriginal, Indigenous, whoever, that woke up somebody, because if they're still claiming they're Aboriginal and Indigenous, they ain't waking anybody up. People still sleep. If they were Negro, black, colored, and now they're Aboriginal and Indigenous, they're still sleep. Because nationality is the order of the day. What's your nationality? You don't have one? That means you're stateless. That's not opinion. That's fact. Go actually, you know, we'll ask the UN. Let's just ask the UN, see what they say. The right to a nationality. The right to a nationality is a fundamental human right. It applies the right of each individual to acquire, change, and retain a nationality. International human rights law provides that the right of states to decide who their nationals are is not absolute. And in particular, states must comply with their human rights obligations concerning the granting and loss of nationality. Arbitrary deprivation of nationality. The right to retain a nationality corresponds to the prohibition of arbitrary deprivation of nationality. That's what these people are doing to all these Aboriginal and Indigenous people that they're claiming are their tribes up and feathers up and all that BS.
Man, Lotus. You. Noble. Lotus.
Moors. None of these other Indian tribes historically don't have a problem saying that they're Moors. It's only these Moors that are around today that want to keep you asleep because they know that right now it's the time of radical enlightenment. Radical enlightenment means you are going to get the spike back to your head to wake up. Forget talk to you about some books. The order of the day is nationality. It has been since Noble Drew Ali's been on the scene, since all these so-called Aboriginal Indigenous people used to wear turbans and used to wear, what's it called? Punies and all this stuff. Feathers without tassels on them. Have Arabic names, Muslim names. Everything that they're doing is damn reference to some Muslim. And these people are in denial, trying to keep our people deaf, dumb, and blind, removing them from the fact that they're Moors and that that's their nationality. And they keep bringing up some stuff about who called you that and who named us Moors and all this stuff. When these people recognized Dr. Ben and he said, we were calling ourselves Moors. Nobody calling us Moors. We called ourselves that. Islam Moors. Islam. You got anything to throw in right now?
I just wanted to add it on earlier when you were speaking of Venezuela, that Horace Butler mentions that Venezuela is really Phoenicia. And I wanted to, because that's back to the Moors again. That's not Indians. That goes right back to the Moors. So you can look up Horace Butler. That's another reference. And he's even telling you, like America, even in the word America, it goes back to the Moors. There goes back to the Moors again. Horace Butler. When rocks cry out, you can get the book. It tells you all about it. I just wanted to mention that because you was going. And then another thing, Venezuela, that's Venus. And we also know that our flag has and you mentioned it too, when they talked about the green and the red.
Yep.
That's our flag. That's our flag. Venezuela, that's Venus. That's our flag. All of this whole thing is Morocco. There was I'm not gonna mention it because I couldn't find the reference. But we talked about it before. They might have taken it down, but we talked about it a couple years back. Remember we found that governor when he referred to the South of America as South of Barbary?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
People can research that if they still let us find that.